Compliments of the season. This is the Anglican Cable Network Nigeria, ACNN Television. You are on to the news on the hour. I am Fulusho Taiwo. You're welcome. The Bishop of Ogbaru Diocese, Anglican Communion, the Right Reverend Samuel Esiofo, has described the cross of Jesus Christ as a place of death, where the life of sin is crossed out from an individual and also as a symbol of shame and reproach. Bishop Esiofo made this statement in an interview with our news correspondent in Abuja. According to the bishop, sinners can lay the burden of sin at the cross of Jesus Christ.
The cross has a lot of meanings and significance. To a sinner, first of all, the cross is a place of death, place where the life of sin is crossed out in the life of a person. Like Paul would say, I have been crucified with Christ. It means death to sin. So when a sinner comes to Christ, he comes to the cross and he dies to sin. And that is the significance. And then to Christians, as Jesus carried the cross, we need to carry the cross as well. Now the cross is a symbol of shame, is a symbol of reproach. Particularly the cross of Christ is a cross of shame and reproach because he died a shameful death. He died in reproach just for us to live, just for us to have life.
It therefore called on Christians to carry the cross of Jesus and follow him.
Come to the cross and let the life of sin be crossed out of your life. And then a child of God, bear the cross of Christ, follow him out of the camp, bearing his shame and his reproach. That way we'll live a better Christian life here on earth.
Bishop Esiofo enjoined Christians to use this period of suffering of Christ to reflect on their lives. A former military governor of Ondo State and the former chairman of the Nigerian Ports Authority, NPA, Chief Olabode George, has lamented over the current security challenges of the country, Nigeria. He said that the current situation is as a result of religious bigotry and ethnicity that has plagued the country since 1950s, which according to him shouldn't be so. He made this known in an exclusive interview with the ACNN television station. He was of the opinion that since no one had control over the ethnic group and the religion one was born into, then the fight shouldn't be existing. He also stressed that no nation survives religious or ethnic war.
What had been the major evils that have plagued this country since 1950s? The issue of religious bigotry, the issue of ethnic jingoism. I want to plead with Nigerians. The common point is we believe that there is a being, the Almighty, the one who was, who is, and shall forever be. Nobody has any control on the day you are born, which tribe you are born into. So if we put that at the back of our minds, what are we fighting for? There is no part of Nigeria that God has not blessed with one resource or the other. No nation goes into any religious war or ethnic war and they survive.
Chief Olabode George reminded politicians that the essence of politics is for the management of the resources for the benefit of the people. Therefore, religiosity and ethnicity shouldn't come into play. He charged the leaders to use their time in the seat of power well, as their works will be recorded in the annals of the nation. He also appealed to Nigerians to avoid the danger of religious war and not let ethnicity tear the country apart.
Bring religion into politics or bring ethnicity into politics, I wonder. The textbook definition of politics is the management of the resources of that area for the benefit of the people. And those who will manage, the management of it, those who will manage them will be people who will canvass, trust me, to manage the resources for your benefit. Not to start talking about your religion or your ethnicity or why this bane is dividing us. It has been plaguing this nation for a long time.
The federal government has declared Friday, March 30 and Monday, April 2nd as public holidays to mark the Good Friday and Easter Monday festivities. This declaration was made in a statement issued by the Minister of Interior, the retired Lieutenant General Abdurrahman Dambazo, on behalf of the federal government. Dambazo enjoined Christian faithful and Nigerians in general to employ the spiritual ethos of Easter, which include love, peace, and sacrifice, in contributing to the unity and peaceful coexistence among Nigerians. He also urged Nigerians to remain supportive of the government of President Muhammadu Buhari in its effort towards building a peaceful, united, and prosperous nation. The minister wished all Nigerians a happy Easter celebrations. Nathaniel Sharibu, a police officer and father of Miss Leah Sharibu, the 15-year-old Dapchi schoolgirl still being held captive by Boko Haram for her refusal to convert to Islam, has pleaded with the federal government and all Nigerians to ensure the release of his daughter before the Easter celebrations. In a brief telephone interview with newsmen, Mr. Sharibu, a member of Evangelical Church Winning All Ekwa, narrated the ordeal since February 19 when the 110 Dapchi schoolgirls were abducted by Boko Haram, saying that he really have nothing much to say except that Leah, his daughter, is yet to be back to join the rest of the family. According to him, he has not heard anything and no authority has told him anything about the whereabouts of his daughter, adding that his loved ones were calling to congratulate him, that his daughter is on the way home, but is yet to see her. AFENIFERE has called on President Muhammadu Buhari and the United Nations to ignore the allegation of Theophilus Danjuma, former Chief of Army Staff and Minister of Defense, against the Nigerian Armed Forces. Danjuma had alleged that the armed forces were colluding with herdsmen to kill Nigerians, calling on the people of Taraba State and the country in general to take up arms and defend themselves. AFENIFERE speaking through its spokesman Yinka Odumaki after a meeting in Akure, Ondo State capital, urged Buhari and United Nations to probe Danjuma's allegation to know its veracity. The socio-political group said Danjuma, being a former Chief of Army Staff and Defense Minister, should be taken seriously since he had a deep knowledge of the military and couldn't have opened his mouth in vain. He said those even without that kind of Danjuma's knowledge had enough circumstantial evidence to come with that conclusion. The group said that with Danjuma's claim, it was clear that there was genocide aided by the Nigerian state going on in the country at the moment. Meanwhile, the Nigerian army had fired back at the former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Theophilus Yakubu Danjuma, for accusing it of romancing Boko Haram terrorists. Shehu Sani, senator representing Kaduna Central, has reacted to the decision of President Muhammadu Buhari against tenure extension for the APC national chairman and other elected national and state officials of the party. Buhari had told members of the National Executive Council of the party that the tenure elongation of OYEGUN and others was illegal.
A motion was moved at the last National Executive Committee meeting of February 27, 2018, to the effect that when the tenure of the current executive expires in June this year, they should be allowed to continue for 1 year. This motion was duly carried by a majority of members present at the last NEC meeting, even though some of our party members have since spoken up very vehemently against it. Others have even taken the matter to court. On my own part, I have taken some time to review and seek advice on the resolution, and what I found is that it contravenes both our party constitution and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Reacting, Sani, in an interview on Channels Television, praised President Muhammadu Buhari for saving the party from what he described as a national disaster.
President Buhari saved the party from an ill-fated flight. He was able to exorcise a demon that was planted and growing in the womb of the party by some persons for their own selfish interest. And it was also very clear that he was misinformed to have accepted the extension in the first instance, and now he saw the light and reversed back. Well, the legal and political implications for that extension could have been disastrous, because if we go along with that extension and then someone from the opposition party goes to court after all the processes of congresses and primaries has been done, the point is that we may end up without a presidential candidate, without governorship candidate, and without candidate at all the legislative arms of government. So, in every sense of the word, is doing the right thing at the right time and saving the party from a disaster that could have consumed it at the end of the day. Well, we should also understand that the party has been in crisis since we took over. Crisis in the states from Kano to Bauchi to Kaduna to River State and other states. And the existing leadership in the party have been unable to address these problems. And these problems keep on growing, and time is running out for the party.
Also, the Edo State chairman of APC, Anselm Ojezua, has backed President Muhammadu Buhari's decision on the extension of John Odige Oyegun's tenure as the party's national chairman. Ojezua described President Buhari's call as justified and democratic. Meanwhile, All Progressive Congress, APC, has said that the party's National Working Committee, led by its chairman, John Odige Oyegun's tenure extension still stands, despite President Muhammadu Buhari's rejection. The National Publicity Secretary of the party, Malam Bolaji Abdullahi, made this known while in a chat with journalists in Abuja. According to him, President Buhari only expressed a personal opinion which cannot be considered the decision of the National Executive Council, which approved the extension in the first place. He insisted that the decision still stands until the neck of APC reverses itself. The case of alleged prosecution and harassment of Dino Melaye, senator representing Kogi West, by the police may have assumed a new dimension as the police have declared him wanted. In a statement issued by the Kogi State Police Command and signed by the Commissioner, Mr. Ali Janga, the police said that the 6 suspects who were in custody and had confessed to crimes at the instance of the lawmaker and one Mohamedou Audu have broken out from jail. He added that all the 6 suspects, which includes Senator Dino Melai and Mohamed Audu, have been sent for watch listing and red notice by the Interpol for immediate arrest. Professor Alaba Ogunsanwo, the former Nigerian ambassador to Botswana, has warned African leaders not to allow the continent to be stuck in the Middle East crisis. Ogunsanwo was speaking at the 3rd Diplomatic Dialogue and Intellectual Forum organized by the Department of International Relations and Diplomacy of the Afe Babalola University, Ado-Ekiti, with the term espousing the years of Israeli-Palestinian conflict, contemporary issues and implications for Nigeria and Africa. He said that refugees have no business in Israel. The former ambassador said that despite the raging armed conflict with Palestine, it was disgraceful that thousands of Africans chose to remain in Israel, which is a sign of leadership failure in Africa. And now to some foreign news. The Archbishop of Canterbury, Justice Welby, has re-echoed his offer to contribute towards any peace negotiations will enable normalcy to return to parts of Nigeria where violence have continued to erupt. It will be recalled that the Archbishop had tweeted in January that he is deeply saddened by the killings and displacements in Nigeria, and had exhorted President Muhammadu Buhari and authorities to act towards ending the violence in the country. However, the attacks have continued to spread rather than abate, thereby raising a question at the British government in the House of Lords, the upper house of the UK Parliament, on the deteriorating security situation in Nigeria. Archbishop Justin said he once again exhorted President Muhammadu Buhari and other authorities, civil and religious, national and international, urgently to build a coalition to end this violence immediately. He went further to condole with those who have lost their loved ones and properties and urged the authorities to seek for ways to ameliorate their sufferings and losses. And so that's it on this edition of the News on the Hour. We want to thank you and thank you profusely for watching. Wishing you compliments of the season once more. And so we say that you should mend it. Please don't end it in a hurry. I am Fulusho Taiwo.